have ran, son. Lay down on the bench. No! Oh my gosh, I'm pulling out my shield. It's a 3-hit. Oh no! It's a 3-hit, guys. Holy, that is terrible. Oh no 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 no. Activision! What is this? Yeah, pretty insane, right? What's going on, guys? My name is Connor Dose. I use melee and riot shield with stuns. I play this loadout every day. Honestly, find it more enjoyable to play the game, and my audience does enjoy it a lot. But I do stream from Sunday to Friday from 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm a partnered streamer on Facebook Gaming, so if you guys want to catch me live over there, feel free to do so. But I'm making this video today just to maybe spread some awareness to maybe, who knows, maybe a Raven dev will eventually see this, maybe catch people's eye and realize, like, you know, how bad melee is, because a lot of players out there that use the meta literally think first thing when they hear melee, it's like overpowered up close. And that is not the case anymore. As a Verdansk 84, I used to, you know, run with the Kali sticks and Riot Shield. And, you know, the Kali sticks, they were sitting at probably at a point 250 to a point 300 millisecond TTK. Honestly, around there, maybe shorter. But I'm talking about the 2-hit. And that kind of goes by, like, the critical hit, per se. And that right there, honestly, myself, you know, running the load every day, I can agree that that was broken, honestly. But there were times to where I would get a 3-hit with the Kali stick, and that was, honestly, I think that was balanced, in my opinion. And, you know, the base health at that time in Verdansk 84 was sitting at a 90 base damage, and 90 times 3 was 270. And the health was 250 at the time. So yeah, it would made sense to get a 3-hit. But that 2-hit sometimes triggered. You know, when the Kali sticks first came out, and that's when I basically, you know, retired from using the meta. I kind of shifted over to use melee at the time. I kind of, you know, I used the Kali sticks and the riot. I didn't use the riot shield, but I kind of used the Kali sticks with the weapon. And then I was like, man, these Kali sticks, I mean, it was always a 2-hit. I was like, there was not a one point where I was getting a 3. And I'm like, man, this is ridiculously overpowered. You know, so I kind of just, like, you know, paired it up with a shield. And I never even thought about it, but, you know, what if I ran with this just full time? And, I was running the heartbeat sensor at the time, and I was just thinking, like, this doesn't make sense. Let me just use something else. And then I was already doing finishing moves before I was using melee. And I was thinking, like, how could I get a finish move on these guys without, you know, without them, you know, having full focus on me? And that came the stun grenade. And I was just like, this is a perfect setup to use, using the stun grenade. And I realized how fast the throwing knife comes out of the shield too, which is instant. I was like, this would be a good setup to use too. So I kind of added throwing knives to it. And I was always getting a 2-hit with the Kali stick, and I was just like, man, this is broken. And this was season 4 of Modern Warfare. And I was like, a lot of people don't even know about this at all. So I kind of kept using it, and I kept using it. And, you know, kind of the same that when Black Ops came out, Cold War, I started noticing some changes to the Kali stick, and I noticed I started getting more of a 3-hit. I think maybe Raven was doing some tweaking in the background, try to make the critical hit not as, you know, not as prominent, doesn't happen as much. But I honestly think that, you know, the 3-hit does make more sense than the 2-hit, because the 2-hit, there would be times where I would literally survive against a guy that basically ambushed me, and I had no shields, and I would be able to still come out of the shield and take him out in a 2-hit, and he would be fully plated. And I was just like, okay, that's nuts. I'm like, I mean, obviously I didn't say anything, obviously, because I was like, I wasn't really as big as I was now. I don't consider myself to be big, but honestly, I wasn't around, like, you know, have a good audience at this time. I basically had maybe like 5 viewers at the time. but now I average like around like 300 to 500 views on how bad the melee is today. So it's a massive difference of how it was back then. But honestly, that's how the melee was back in the day in Verdansk 84. And I could agree with myself that that was broken. That honestly needed some tweaking, some adjustments. But what Raven did with the melee weapons is that they nerfed it to where it was unusable now. And I say that is because the whole melee situation where on Twitter, when everybody's complaining about how they're dying by getting meleeed, and it wasn't about the melee weapons. It was literally the gun butting. Coming out of the air, dropping onto the ground, and, hitting the guy with your gun. That was the main issue. The main issue that people were complaining about. The Kali sticks was just a small percentage of that. I did a lot of research and, on Twitter and, looking up some videos on it. And yeah, it's true. People were complaining about the gun butting. The Kali sticks was just a small issue of it, literally. But it was the main melee weapon at the time. Because the combat knife didn't really have that much of a lunge. It didn't kill as fast as the Kali stick 2-hit, and that's what made the Kali stick stand out, was that 2-hit. And then the dual Kadakis, I think I have no idea if those came out after the Kali sticks or before. I think they came out honestly after, but I don't know. But they still wasn't able to compete with the Kali stick 2-hit, which was literally like one of the reasons why I was literally glued to that weapon, was that 2-hit. Honestly, like I really felt unstoppable with that setup on the map because of that 2-hit. Now, if it wasn't a 2-hit, it made a huge difference because the swing rate was a lot slower. It wasn't like, a pat smack. This was like a pat pat pat. It made more sense for it to be a 3-hit than to be that insane 2-hit, which was the critical. It doesn't make any sense for that to ever be a thing. I mean, maybe in multiplayer I can see that happening, but not in Warzone. Never was. As a melee user, I kind of, I enjoy this playstyle. I want it to be fair. I want it to be balanced for everybody. I don't want it to be overpowered to where it's destroying the meta, because, the meta is already overpowered and easy to play with as it is. I want the melee playstyle to be to where it's able to be balanced with the meta, to where it can compete. Because back then with the Kali stick 2-hit, it was dominant over the meta at that point. But the 3-hit, honestly, I think that was the perfect balance for the Kali stick, which was probably sitting around maybe like a 0.700 or maybe even 0.600 TTK, or maybe around there. But it was never where it was now, which is literally sitting at like 1,100 millisecond TTK, which is unviable at the point. That means you won't be able to take out nobody without a stun grenade. And that's another topic I want to talk about too, is that the stun grenade, literally, I mean, you can't really, if you have a gun, I mean, yeah, it's easy day, easy everything. If you don't even have to use a stun grenade to kill somebody with it anyways. But with a melee weapon in today's, games of how it is with the melee, you have to use a stun now. And without that stun, you're not going to be able to take out a player that's decent or above. Now, if he's a straight bot, then maybe you might have a chance. But when we dig deep into these melee weapons, as we go higher in the TTK, you guys will see that you probably won't be able to take out nobody with the melee weapon now. So we're going to go through here, and I'm going to show you guys the melee test run of how they all were, of how fast they were. I did a tack sprint, I did a walk, I did a run. I did this in a live stream, so you guys will probably see me on the right. That's not really me live there. But yeah, I did this there. I think it was like 25 melee weapons, I think. So I did this, and then later I did the melee TTK testing. Alright, so I'm gonna start at this bridge, I'm gonna go to that tree. Now, as you can see, the ballistic knife is, my main weapon that I use now. You can shoot the melee weapon, but you have no aim assist with it, which I do not understand, because in previous Call of Duties, in Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, 3, there was aim assist with it. Now in Warzone, there's no aim assist. I don't understand this. M&K, yeah, there's no aim assist. That's fine. But, you know, with controller, there's nothing. But you get aim assist with the guns. Now, as I'm going through, I'm testing the runs and everything, the walk. And it happens, you know, it was pretty up there. It was one of the fastest melee weapons you can run with, but it wasn't the fastest. What I did here is, you know, I kind of, you know, I brought in the Owen gun on this, and the reason for that is because the Owen gun, honestly, is the most broken SMG in the game right now. It is the fastest gun in the game. It outruns melee weapons, as you can see at the timer at the top. It is literally, I don't get it. It's a gun that weighs probably like 30 to 40 pounds, maybe more, I don't know. But 72 round mag of SMG ammo, that's pretty heavy. And I don't understand how that SMG is outrunning the gun. There's been a couple streamers that basically were using melee weapons as a challenge, and they were going against people with the meta. Obviously, that guy had an Owen gun. It was like, how is this guy outrunning me? I got a knife. And I'm just like, they finally understand my pain. I mean, this is what I have to go through every day. As you can see, the Dokadakis here, as we're watching right now, this happens to be the worst weapon right here for speed. The Dokadakis. There's like basically 2 machetes. And the thing about it, the thing that, you know, tops it out all the rest of the melee weapons is that it's pretty much has the best range. That means you can kind of like, you can get a hit with the guy that's the most furthest away from you. Like, it will literally hit the guy probably like 3 meters away. But the other melee weapons are probably like 1 meter away. I think that, I mean, when you slide with the melee weapon with the, you know, the Dokadakis, the range doubles. I think they fixed this. I don't know if they did, but I noticed when I slide with it one time, I wasn't getting that range anymore. So I think they fixed it, but I'm not sure. I don't really main the Dokadakis anymore. But that was one thing that I thought that was broken, because I kind of use that sometimes to slide and try to, you know, slash the guy. But as you can see, we're still going through these. Honestly, I really think melee weapons should literally all be the lightest weapon in the game. Should literally be able to run the fastest with them, because they don't have any advantage other than up close. And even now, they're not even having an advantage up close anymore. They're unviable. You guys will see that in a moment when we go over the TTK breakdown of how bad and slow the time to kill with these melee weapons. They're just unbearable at this point. I just don't know why Raven did this. I don't know if they just wanted, you know, to get people off the melee playstyle. I don't know if they're really trying to get people to stop using melee. I have no idea. But this is a spreadsheet. Me and my editor just kept a like, you know, keep track of it right here. So feel free to take a screenshot if you want to. But this is just a breakdown of like an order of how fast, from fastest to slowest. As you can see, the Owen gun just kind of like this gets up to the top at like mostly every category except the walk. But I mean, at this point, you don't really walk with a melee weapon. You don't really do that. You're kind of majority running and tack sprinting the whole time with it. But yeah, the Owen gun is literally at the top of this, and I don't understand why it should. It's a gun with 72 round mags. You literally have the knife over here. Lily should be the lightest weapon to be at the top, but it's not. This is just something here I don't get why it is like this, but I don't know. Maybe it'll get tweaked in the future. Hopefully Raven will do something about it. Hopefully Infinity Ward has something great in the future for melee to be viable again, because I'm really just hoping for it. Another topic here I want to talk about too is, what if melee got some variety in it in Warzone 2? I doubt melee is going to get any, you know, love moving forward from this Call of Duty title, like Warzone 1. I don't think it's going to see any more buffs, honestly, in my opinion, because the way Raven took it, as they just made it to where they don't want people to use it anymore. It's the way it looked. You know, Warzone 2 moving forward, Modern Warfare 2, I'm really hoping that maybe they could take from this video, get some ideas from it, but I'm really thinking, like, you know, what if melee got some attachments, some perks added to it, like, you know, the Vanguard weapons, they have perks on the weapon, like you can add Acrobat, Fleet, Steady, Vital, and all that stuff. What if Melee got perks too? And what if Melee got some attachments? Like, you know, if I wanted to, you know, use the dual Kadakis, right? Maybe I can make the blades a little bigger, which will increase my range, but it would also be a penalty, and that would probably slow me down, make me slower on the map, right? So there's always there's always a buff to something, and there's always a nerf to something, like how it is with your gun. Like, if maybe the riot shield, you could probably add some spikes to it. You could probably add some electric fields onto it as well, so to make it have more damage. Probably add more, like a flashlight. I don't know, they add flashlights on the guns now, probably for some control. Maybe to add the riot shield to have some control as well. But obviously, maybe you can add some extra cover around the riot shield, so you won't get shot from like a guy to maybe you're 45 degrees, but you would be slower moving because of the weight, which again is a buff to cover, but a nerf to the mobility side, which is like a balance. Melee is such a fun playstyle, and I really want it to be, you know, great again in a balanced way, not a dominating way, but in a balanced way to where it's fun. Now, as you can see, as we're going through these right now, we go through these quick, but, you know, I was obviously live streaming this all. I was going through these, each weapon, each game. And it was pretty nerve-wracking to do all this, because obviously most of the time I failed it, but as you can see, I am stunning every single player here. And in this case, I'm just like, why am I doing that, you know? I mean, back in the day, we didn't have to stun that many people, but now you have to stun them. I'm just like, I don't get it. Like, what are they, like, they're just forcing us to stun people now. I mean, like, honestly, I think stunning people is it's a pussy way to play the game, honestly. If you're stunning them because, like, you're not confident in winning the fight, and yeah, it's not about being confident. It's because the melee weapon is dog shit. It's horrible. It's not good anymore. So we have to throw a stun just so we can get that boost, just to get up there to compete with you. The 3-hit in this case, as you can see, they're all 3 hits, majority except the Kali stick. And the katana, as you can see here, it's a 2-hit because they recently buffed it to 150 damage. But the swing rate is so slow. I don't understand. And as this one blew my mind the most was the ice pick. I'm like, holy crap. A 3-hit and it swings like that? I'm like, in reality, I'd be swinging it way faster than that. Like as you can see, the Sabertooth. This is Skull Crusher, same thing. Literally the same thing. A hammer, the same thing. It's look how slow that is. I'm just like, 2 seconds. 2 seconds for that. Look at the Owen gun. 4 hits for this. And that's the melee build for that. This was obviously the meta build I ran. Look how fast that was. Dual Kadakis. But yeah, that's the breakdown right here of like how slow it is. It is that slow. As you can see, every engagement there, I had to stun the enemy. The only times I would really go for a stun, for a finisher move, to prevent the guy from pushing me if I was hurt badly, or if the guy's running away and I had to catch up to him. That was the only times I actually stunned somebody. The other times, I actually worked my way close and got to him to where I can, you know, pull out my melee weapon and get the job done. But now in Caldera, ever since Vanguard has pushed over, because that's when they did the huge melee nerf, I had to stun every single person. And when the 300 health came in, it was the worst. Because now that extra 50 health increase has made it to where it was a 3-hit. An extra hit basically for every melee weapon except the katana. The katana still stayed at a 2-hit because it was 150 base damage, which 150 times 2 was 300, which is right on, you know. But the swing rate, I just don't get it. All the Vanguard melee weapons, they swing slow except the FSF fighting knife and the Sabertooth. But those are 3 hits. And honestly, I don't know why. 3 hits literally puts it at around like 1,000 plus TTK, which literally is unviable. Anything over like 800, in my opinion, is unviable. As you can see, the Dokadakis is sitting at a 967, which is still unviable. You need to stun the guy, honestly. If it's a decent player and above. If it's a bot, you might get lucky. But majority of all these melee weapons, as you can see at the very bottom, the ice pick, oh my. Sitting at a 2000, one of the worst melee weapons in the game. I was very surprised because they're literally advertising these melee weapons as of right now when this video is being made. The Vanguard Sledgehammer, Skull Crusher, and Ice Pick, literally in the 2000. I'm just like, they might as well just trash the melee weapon, take it out of the game files, man. Because like, how is that even viable? The way it's fixing the, you know, the damages to be, I honestly think it's like sitting at maybe like 100 base damage because it's a one hit in Vanguard multiplayer, so it must be a 100 base health. But why? If it's 100 base health, why is it swinging so slow? If you don't get a good stun on the guy, you're gonna be behind him swinging, and he's gonna be able to turn around and just melt you. As you can see up here, 383 milliseconds for the Owen gun. That is insane. That's where this TTK sits at for the meta guns, and you know that's where the melee weapons sit at right now. But if it was to cut in half, the dual Kadakis will be sitting like around 600 milliseconds for the TTK. If it was a 2-hit ballistic knife, around there too, probably like around 700. The knife, cut that in half, probably 600 as well. So all these melee weapons that are cut in half will literally be probably cut around 300 milliseconds. It literally takes like maybe like majority of 300 milliseconds a hit. If I'm just gonna go ahead and estimate. Except the Kali sticks, right? The Kali sticks 4-hit in multiplayer, which is like a 2-hit. So literally, it would literally put it at a 600 millisecond TTK for the 3-hit. And that is balanced, in my opinion. 600 milliseconds is balanced, if you think about it. It doesn't compete with, obviously, the Owen gun. It's still able to compete still. Anything below an 800 millisecond, I think is viable at this point. Anything over that, you're going to have to stun. But it seems like in every situation, we have to throw a stun every time. Us melee players. Raven Software, I hope you watch this video. Maybe one day, I don't know. Maybe Infinity War will see it. Because honestly, you have a community out there that loves melee, and you guys preach it, how you guys want to make it fun for everybody. And honestly, I love Call of Duty, and making melee like this is honestly just like it hurts. It honestly hurts at this point. If you land a good stun, and if you're happen to use the ice pick, again, I'm going to use this example because it's the worst melee weapon in the game right now. You have 2 seconds to take that guy out. And keep in mind, the distance could be random. You could be far away from the enemy, you could be close to the enemy, but you have to go through certain steps just to get to him. Like, you gotta make your way to him, right? You're gonna throw a stun, and then you gotta run to him. But you might run to him with the riot shield, you might run to him with the melee weapon. But you gotta switch it, and then you gotta work your way around him, because obviously you don't want to get gunned in front of him, so you gotta go around him or to the side, and you gotta go through the swing animation, which takes 2 seconds, and just getting to him will probably take 1 second to get to him. And if you miss with the melee weapon, possible chances you're probably gonna die, because look at the 383 millisecond up here. That close, being that close to the guy, he's probably gonna hit you in the head or the chest. If you're that close to him, you're gonna get melted. So if you miss with the melee weapon, that's like 4 to 5 hits, and that's like almost double that. That's like sitting there like 4 seconds almost, and that's like already the stun's about to wear out. And if you land the stun far, you by the time you get to him, you're probably landing your first swing on him. And you got 2 more to go. Think about it. You got 2 more swings to go before you take him out. And you got to worry about possibly the hit not registering either, because there was times where I was testing this melee weapon and it was not registering. That's literally the breakdown of how the melee weapons are. I really hope in the future, Infinity Ward, you've made great games in the past. I believe this game, Modern Warfare 2, is going to be a really good game in the future, and just really hope melee is going to be viable in this game. Honestly, I'm excited to make content for Modern Warfare 2, but if melee is not viable in there, it's going to be rough. My second, most surprised result was the size. I don't know why this weapon got the worst nerf, because it literally performs the same as the dual Kadakis. It was a 3-hit, and it was a dual weapon. I don't understand how this weapon is sitting at the very bottom, like number 20, when you have like the E-tool or the FSF fighting knife sitting at 1,000. There's just stuff in here I just don't know why. The balancing is just kind of like everywhere. It doesn't make sense. I really hope this breakdown has cleared y'all's minds. Hope you guys understand completely where melee sits at to this day and what it used to be. If you want to compare to Verdansk 84 all the way up to season 3 of Caldera's melee, I think it needs to they need to come in the middle, and I think the balance will be right there. Like maybe every melee weapon should be a 2-hit. The dual Kadakis need to be sitting at 150 base damage. Ballistic knife 150 base damage. The knife 150 base damage. The E-tool 150 as well. Wakizashi 150. Katana, that's already 150. 10 150. Kane 150. 12 150. All these melee weapons I would say need to be 150 base damage, except the Kali sticks. that needs to be 100. I honestly think that's a good balance for it because the swing rate puts it's really fast, and you know the TTK sits at like a 700 millisecond TTK if it was a 3-hit. But every melee weapon, the sledgehammer, the baseball bat, I think the mace, they all kind of swing a little slower, but I honestly think this should be 150 as well. Hammer and sickle, I literally think this is probably like around, I think it's less than 100 because it was a 4-hit. These melee weapons need reworking, honestly, and the katana as well. They need to swing faster. I don't understand why they swing so slow. When you're trying to swing with a melee weapon and you happen to, you know, to get a kill, and then you want to get out of there and run, you cannot run until the melee weapon is done and is back up, ready to, like, you know, to be hit again. Like, it is stowed up back up. So when you swing it, you gotta wait until it comes back up to the stow position until you can start running again. That means you cannot do any action at all while you're doing that. Like, you can't pick up anything, you can't get in the vehicle, you can't open the door, and you can't obviously run away. You're literally just walking. And I'm just like, I just don't understand. There's a good amount of melee content creators out there. Oh, not, I wouldn't say a good amount. There's probably like a few. Obviously, you know, you got These Knives Only, Erasable Ninja. They don't play that much of Warzone that much anymore because they said in their videos of how melee is just unviable at this point, and you really cannot really survive on the map unless you have a stun. I'm just like, yeah, that ain't right. There is people out there, there's melee content creators out there that, you know, that also agree with it too, because they obviously use the melee and they see it every day. There's a situation to where I had the ballistic knife. I was maining the ballistic knife and the riot shield at the time. And this was shortly after the 300 buff. And the guy was sitting in a house. As you can see right here, he didn't shoot me one time with it, and he decided to gun butt me. I challenged him with the you know, the melee weapon. I got up close to him. I stunned him, obviously, and then I wanted to go ahead and knife him. And I know it was going to take 3 hits. I knew, like, I went in there prepared, knew it was going to be 3 hits because I 300 health made it the extra hit for melee weapons. And then we went at it, and then he kills me. And I'm like, this guy just gun butted me, y'all. The meleeing with the guns actually outbeat the melee weapons. And that was another red flag right there. I'm like, man, they really nerfed these to where they can't even compete with the meta actually wanted to utilize the melee feature on there. I'm just like, Raven, what are y'all doing? But yeah, that was another one that threw me off right there. I think that was a time where I kind of just like put the melee down for a little bit, and I kind of just went toxic and pulled the shotgun and riot shield out because I honestly was just very heated at that point. I was like, man, this is just ridiculous, bro. Not even ballistic knives can compete, or not even melee weapons can even compete with a gun that wants to go for a gun butt. A gun butting outbeats a melee weapon. How the heck does that make any sense? Melee weapons are supposed to dominate in that category, especially. But then again, Raven has made it to where it can't even beat its own game. It can't even beat at its own, pride, basically. Like, it can't even beat at its own melee. At this point, it's just laughable at this point. I don't know. I don't know what happened there. I don't know why Raven did that, but I think it kind of looks like at this point that they knew what they were doing and they just wanted to make it like that just so they can just make fun of melee. I don't know, but that's just my speculation. But yep, that is the melee breakdown. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Make sure you guys smash that like, smash the share, and let me know what you guys think about this video. Let me know what was the most, shocking result of the melee weapon. What do you guys want to see for changes? Let me know in the comments below. I stream live every day from Sunday to Friday from 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, running melee full time over there. We do challenges as well. We have a good time over there. We get some funny death comms as well. But hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and yeah, have fun out there if you're gonna use melee.